Welcome back to Ride JBI. This is JB. Today we finished a suspension revalve on this 2020 Husqvarna TC250 suspension. This bike comes stock with the WP AER 48 air fork on the front, also commonly known as the Exact 48. This is WP's production air fork. It first came out in 2017, and over the years it has seen many updates. This 2020 version is, we'd say, the generation 2/3 of this fork, depending on how you count the changes and modifications they've done since 2017. On this fork, the rider decided to go with our JBI suspension WP AER Pro Fork setup. That is our JBI suspension revalve with additional hardware parts that are installed internally inside of the fork that take place of some of the OEM hardware internals. Reason being for that is Ride JBI has found out over the years of testing this suspension since it first came out in 2017 that if we were left to utilizing only the stock hardware inside of the fork, specifically the damping side, that is the fork with the clickers. When I say damping, think hydraulics. So this is the hydraulic shock absorber part of your forks. We found if we were left to only utilizing the hardware inside of there, we were limited to how much better we could improve these forks. And one way we figured that out is we exhausted pretty much all the settings and configurations of where you could build that fork. And while we definitely got success in improving the forks over their stock settings, the forks weren't nearly as good as our other options that we offer. And we wanted to further bridge that gap, actually make it smaller, so there wasn't such a gap between the two. And at Ride JBI, that is exactly what we did. We spent a lot of time, and around late 2019, early 2020 is when the JBI suspension WP AER Pro Fork kit came out. And that kit can be found on our website. But what it does, in short, is it drastically improves the damping efficiency of this fork. What I mean by efficiency is how well the fork, again, the damping side, aka the hydraulics, how well it does its job or function in generating compression resistance and rebound resistance. By improving that, how well it does it, it really improves how well the fork performs, and it also allows us to rely on less air pressure. This side. Because the better this side of the fork works, we can be a little less reliant on this side of the fork. And by running less air pressure in the fork, it helps the forks have a lot smoother feel because there's less stiction on the back side of the seal. How tight a seal sticks or grabs a surface is going to be related to how much pressure is applied to the backside of that seal. So, RideJBI.com features all the information on our JBI suspension WP AER Pro Fork kit. There'll also be a link below in the description. On the webpage, you'll see information such as text information, images, and videos that detail exactly what parts are in the kit, how the kit works, why we utilize those parts, and most importantly, what you should expect as a rider utilizing this setup. It is also available as a do-it-yourself install kit, where we will package up this kit into a friendly, easy-to-install package, so that way you can get the same settings we will build for you here at Ride JBI headquarters. You can install them on your own or have somebody locally install it for you. This suspension was revalved to our JBI suspension motocross spec. The main complaint of these WP AER forks is that they often lack front tire feel, meaning the forks aren't nearly as smooth or comfortable enough as the wheel goes over small consecutive bumps. We often call this ripple chop or washboard bumps. So the main focus of our AER kit is to really improve the fork comfort and feel over those small bumps and help improve front tire traction. People relate this to saying it feels much more like a spring fork. The shock was revalved to a matching JBI suspension motocross spec. The shock was also updated with the JBI bladder kit. A firmer spring was utilized for the rider's weight, and the extra preload adjuster was added to this build for ease of adjustability on spring preload. Ride JBI has tested, tuned, and developed settings for all types of riding, for all the different types of off-road riding, motocross racers, free riders, arena cross, supercross, and FMX. So if you'd like Ride JBI to do suspension on your bike, please give us a call or send us an email. We'll talk about the year, make, model bike that you have, what setups are available, and which option would work best for you. All JBI suspension services and parts can be found at ridejbi.com.